Alright, we're live. Let's reset to get the cool intro sequence here of Pokemon Black version. Alright, here we go. We're pulling the chat up. Now, I have never played these games. Either of them. But I have heard that people do quite enjoy them. It's the last Pokemon game released for the DS, basically. I mean, you know, DSi, but you could play all this game on the normal DS. Even though a lot of the game had a significant amount of internet features for the online modes. And we have a king thing going on here. I'm sure it's fine and not some big plot. And we have a kind of ad intro sequence. It's very curious. I've never had a game feel the need to market me the game while I'm about to play it. But conceptually, that title screen is pretty much the same as before. Here we have the first normal professor, not old guy, although they still continue the tree name with Professor Juniper. And yeah, she's one of the ones that people like. I mean, you know, people like all the characters, but yeah, people like this game more than the other ones, I think. This is also the last one before they added the fairy type. I believe the male opposite gender character still shows up even if you choose, no matter what. Although there is some interesting stuff that happens right at the beginning here. What are we going to go with? We're going to go with, we're going to go with, I think Ricky. This guy seems like a Ricky. I was thinking of some other R names, but I think Ricky's the move. I think this guy's name is Ricky. I think canonically his name is Caleb. Have to double check that. You also get friends instead of rivals, and they get backstory before you meet them, which is kind of a extension of the Gen 4 what's his name, Barry introduction, where, you know, he's an actual character, he's not just an antagonist. But you get two right from the beginning, which is very curious. Because, I mean, you think about it, so we now have, this is the most rivals we've had so far, assuming that the opposite gender character will be a rival as some of the other games, right? Gen 4 basically just has two rivals. We also get a seasonal thing here, very strange. And we get this very cinematic shot. The game is contrasting between the, like, decently cinematic you know, 3D models and the flat pixelated characters. But then, you know, this is basically the same as all the other ones, although there's a lot of dialogue at the beginning here, as opposed to the other games, right? And they didn't do that little help screen, which is interesting. We also get free roam at this point in the game. And we can see here that, well, this thing at the bottom, is a very cool version of doing the gym leaders, and now we can all see what they are. Oh, oops. I don't know what that does. Everything looks different, but if you think about it, it's all basically the same, right? This is your bag. It's gonna spit out the stuff that you normally spit out anyway. They use the touchscreen pretty well, I think. We need to always go into options, turn the text speed on to fast. And I think also can't change the text box anymore. Very sad, very sad. Sure, whatever, we'll save. It doesn't really matter. I'm not planning on coming back to this game after this, but they've kind of got sort of techno feel going around. I presume, yeah, you can't leave. But we can see that it's still the Wii. The Wii is everywhere. Also, you have a flat screen TV in your room, and you have a computer that tells you the hint that is not changed for years. But yes, Professor Juniper has given us Pokemon. Now, I've never played this one, so I don't have a go-to pick here. I do like Tepig, but I also... I don't really like Oshawott. I'm gonna be honest. I think I prefer the other two better. And I think we're gonna go with my gut for Tepig. Although I do like Snivy. I think it's a pretty well designed Pokemon. And then, so they split it up evenly, right? There's 3 of you, so you get 3. But right at this point, you already have 3 rivals, kind of, right? And they kind of alluded to it here, but yeah, you're gonna have to go through 2 early rival battles right here, not just fighting Snivy, but also we're going to have to fight Oshawott, which is very curious. They heal between, obviously, but it's not... It's kind of surprising. Also, if we go here, we can see that the UI has changed once again, but it's not that different. It just looks different. It's which, I mean, it's UI, so it's not really, you know, that big of a deal. But for the most part, it's just kind of like, it's gone from being sort of the sleek minimalist to a more like techno minimalist stuff. I don't know. I'm not really a art designer type, but it is definitely a bit of a shift from how it looked Gen 3 and Gen 4. But of course, it's actually, like, even though it looks different, it still functions the same. Oh, also, our room is completely ruined. It sucks. It's awful. And, yeah, you heal Pokemon. And then, yeah, you have to fight Cheren. Yay. I didn't see this coming at all. It's not like it was pretty telegraphed when it, you know, you set up 2 rivals and it's all 3, and yeah, pretty obvious what they were gonna do here. But it is a change. It is an interesting sort of shift, right? And I'm actually I'm a little surprised they didn't stick with something like it. Whew, that was a big critical. And of course, the other thing here is that your rivals are definitely not antagonistic to you, as far as I can tell, right? I mean, I have never played this game, but they start off as your friends, and I'm presuming they're not going to get, like, even, what's his name, Barry in Gen 4 is, like, kind of mean to you. Like, he's kind of crazy, so you go, oh, he's running around. Like, he's still mildly antagonistic to you. He's nowhere on the level of the original rivals, Silver and Blue, but also your mom has, like, character in this game. It's very curious. There's sort of a story shift here that I'm sensing. Not really much of a gameplay shift so far. But definitely a lot more dialogue. Is it that much more dialogue? Oh, you also get this, which I still haven't figured out. I don't know what this does, because I played basically up to this point right before that just to make sure the emulator was working properly. And I'll show you. Well, first we can check our Pokemon, and we can see that the screen is... it gives you all the same information. You can do all, like, it's all the same stuff. Just because it's different looking doesn't mean it's actually different. But if you go in here and you go to the bag and you go to the key items and you click it, you can't do anything. But it says allows up to 4-way calls, so I'm presuming it's sort of a story driver. Anyway, here we get the game's sort of contrast between the pixelated stuff and the very, well, relatively high quality, more 3D artwork, right? The 3D stuff in this game is a lot more advanced than in Gen 4, right? Sure. And the pixel work is more advanced as well, although it doesn't really appear that on the surface. Nuemva Town, I think all the towns in this game are named after clouds. I want to say clouds. But it's the power of science is amazing, guy. Incredible. I love this. I love this guy. He's the best character in all the games. Power of science is amazing. Okay, it wanted me to go to Bianca's house. Now, interesting, this is probably one of the first times that the game has really sort of thrust characters upon you. For the most part, right, aside from the professors, the game kind of goes, oh, you're just on your own, and then you meet the people throughout the game, right? And some of them, especially like Gen 1, don't really have anybody to meet, actually. It's just you just run through it, right? The characters have like 2 lines. But, I mean, they've been moving in the more story-driven direction for the past 3 generations, right? Gen 2 had a little bit of that. It had some characters going on. Gen 3 and 4 definitely had a character thing. Oh, she wants to go on an adventure, and her dad won't let her. Huh, that's curious. It's not really my problem. This also introduces an interesting conundrum where you finally have to acknowledge that in this game that they're sending out, you know, like 11-year-olds just on their own, right? In all the other games, it wasn't really a big deal because for the most part, the worlds are indicated to be relatively safe, right? Basically every adult in the situation goes, yeah, sure, whatever, you can go out and run around, you're probably fine. This is definitely the first time you get somebody who's like, no. Yep. Okay. Researching Pokemon. That's never happened. Oh, now you can give it a nickname. We're not going to give it a nickname. Sorry, Tepig. I could have called him Terry the Tepig, but that's fine. Yeah, the fact that they give you just a handful of characters to run around with means that there's a lot more story going on. Sure. What happens if we say no? We also get another problem here where your player character is a silent protagonist, right? And it's always been that way. Although you always get sort of yes-no things with giving certain quests and stuff. But this is the first time it's really felt like obvious that your character's missing something. Oh, huh, that's curious. Now, they've been running around with some backstory for everything since Gen 1, but really Gen 2, that had the first kind of, like, backstory stuff going on with certain characters. Cool. I can't believe it, actually, yeah. Town map, good. We'll get to see the map. And everyone gets a map. And you get a map, and you get a map. Cool. Also, that's a weird indication, right? Because in the past, they've been vague about whether Pokemon are dangerous or not. It's pretty, like, indicated that they probably are. Especially with Gen 3 and the legendaries in the end. But this is probably the first time where, like, they've kind of acknowledged that, yeah, these things can kind of destroy stuff. Okay, let's check how the Pokédex looks, just to see. Oh, do I have to... Yeah, I have to click it. That's weird. But we see here... Oh, well, that's the map, but... Huh. Well, this is basically the same as the Gen 4 Pokédex, although it does have a new look, which is cool. Let's check the map. Map is at the bottom here. And this is actually, this is a very interesting map. It's very much Pokemon Ranger and less other Pokemon, right? Unless this map sort of changes over time, right? This is just going to be a very linear progression. Now, it seems obvious, once you really look into this, that there's a bunch of extra stuff going on, right? Like, there's side areas. I mean, this city's right over here, and it's got no routes connected to it. So there must be some way to get there, and, like, Pokemon League's up here, and bunch of cities everywhere. But this is a very clear shift from the older maps, which are all very widespread. This is more just a circle. But in any case, they still have it kind of set up relatively normally, right? You start in a town here, and then you go to the second one, and then the third one, and then the fourth one, and then the big town is like fifth. And there's some forests and caves and stuff to go around. P2. Team Plasma's secret lab is located on a quiet little island. Oh boy, I like how we already know that. Okay, anyway, we don't have the running shoes yet still, which I presume we will get eventually, but... Then we get the Route 1 music. Yep. Oh, and she gives you the how to catch a Pokemon thing. Very curious. This is very steamrolly, actually, now that I think about it. I basically have not gotten real control over anything. Which is not really that surprising, but if you think about the time to go, like, time to get open access to the game, Gen 1 and Gen 2 are pretty quick. They're all pretty quick. Gen 4 is a little long. This is probably the longest so far, which is interesting, that they really... I guess it seems that they're kind of worried about getting people on board, which if you look at the sales numbers actually does make sense, because the games were kind of selling sparsely. You know, the first game is still the highest selling one, and that's true, you know, today as well as in 2011. We got the Pokeballs. Oh, they got rid of the Pokeballs section of the bag. It does seem they consolidated the sections of the bags. Huh. Interesting. Here we get... This is kind of a quest thing going on. But it's like a real... Oh, first step, of course. Yeah, so this is the this is on an emulator, Andy. Little pup. A curious little Pokemon. They definitely sped up the time to lower the health bar, right? Because that was almost a joke in Gen 4 with the Chansey, the close combat. Okay, time to throw a Pokeball to catch it. I wonder what we win. Probably nothing. The games have always been weird about the rival battles and certain quests. In some of the games, right, if you lose the rival battle, you don't get to do it again. For the most part, they don't give you certain things for, like... Like, they don't... There aren't items you can soft lock yourself out of, at least in this game. In some... Oh, I got hit again. In the Pokemon trading card game, there actually are, because it uses the sort of same deal where, like, if you lose a rival battle, it's just over, but the rival gives you a card every time you beat him, so if you lose to him once, you've locked yourself out of a card for the game, which is funny. This is also the first Pokemon mainline game. Yeah. And probably one of the first overall. No. Pokemon Coliseum came out already. First Pokemon games to not be based. First mainline Pokemon games to not be based on areas in Japan. Unova is based on kind of around New York City, which is very strange because it means it's inherently a lot smaller than a lot of the other areas, right? Because, and you can kind of tell that by looking at the map, where a lot of the other areas are kind of like expansive, but this one you can kind of tell it's just supposed to be like one city. Here, if we go to the map, like you can kind of tell that it's supposed to be, oh, this is just one city kind of thing, right? The middle of the Nova region. It's supposed to, like, I think it's the background art style that really doesn't sell it. Like, the other ones, by being this sort of topographical style of, like, it's just green and brown and blue areas on a map, makes it seem a lot bigger than it is, right? Where it's like, oh, this area, like, and it allows them to make the areas look bigger, where in this one, because they've kind of stylized it, it's harder to go, like, you get a better sense of, oh, you know, this is actually like a big mountain, and this is actually a big mountain, so this and this is a decently sized desert, so this whole area is actually pretty big. But if you're just looking at it at a glance, it just looks a lot tighter, a lot smaller than than like the Sinnoh map. What does this guy say? They just give us hints. Yep. And if we go down here, we get to the water, you know. Let's talk to this person. Oh, we got a potion. Yippee! Now, the other thing with this game is because I haven't played it, I don't know when to push and when to, like, leave it, right? With a lot of the other games, I have kind of like a sense of the flow of the first couple of areas. So I know, like, oh, we're about to be done with this area. I should just push through. Whereas, oh, should we catch this or not? We already got 2. I don't really... We're not going to catch it. We're going to play sort of normally here. I'm going to play as I would the other games, even though we do have kind of like a quest to catch things. I normally don't catch repeats when I'm just playing the game because I'm not, like, grinding for that, you know. They also always change the animation for, like, stat changes, but never the sound. It's always the same. It's still the same, pretty much. It's probably higher quality sound, but the actual sound effect is still the same. And we're level 7. Oh, we learned Ember. That's good. And we also have our friends over here who are probably going to talk to us. Sure, because I have 3. Ah, see, I knew this would be, like, a story thing. Yeah, this is very, story-centric. But on the plus side, you do get kind of like a... You get to view the characters as more than just, like, their pixelated, versions, right? Because that is kind of like a... Not a problem, but an interesting thing where... Ooh, and here we have a very good usage of 3D environment with the 2D things that sprites on top, right? I mean, this is this is Link to the Past type stuff. Oh, we also get to see a very high-end looking Pokemon Center. Alright, see ya, Andy. And we can see that it is quite high-end. Although it reuses the Heart Gold Soul Silver change of adding the upper level right through the thing. But we also looks like we get the Pokemart has now been consolidated in with the Pokemon Center, which is very curious. Also, the Nurse Joy looks like she has auburn hair instead of pink. And they go in a different thing. This is completely different. They've changed it. They've ruined it. No, but it is interesting. We're also, yeah, this is heavily, like, they've never really gone through and explained all the functions of the Pokemon Center like this. They usually go, you get to the first town, and then they're like, go to that building. You can heal your Pokemon there. Who's someone? Yes, well, we always meet them. I don't know who it is for this game. Yeah, so the Pokemart has been consolidated into the Pokemon Center. This checks out conceptually, right? Like that kind of makes sense. But it does mean that, yeah, sure to save the game. Also, the PC is now on the left. How strange. And we get a help screen here. View categories. So this is just a help screen. We don't have to go through that. Pokemon storage system. Battle box is a new thing. You can fight. Oops. It's on the left instead of the right. You know, that's a pretty big change. And this is just mailbox. Okay. Whoops. I keep hitting. Need to be more. Okay, Professor's PC. This gives me the rating, basically, right? Okay. But we can now go over to this upper area and probably do, well, this is probably online stuff. Yeah, Union Room. Some of the other stuff. Now, the map has turned into a big globe, which has the real continents of the world on it. Oh, this is probably not the map. This is probably like the online global feature, which of course we cannot access yet. I wonder, I guess they don't have the maps in the Pokemon Center anymore. At least in this version. That's very interesting. Pokeball 2, let's get 2. Potion, let's get 4. And that's okay. Let's talk to the other guy. He sells mail. Lots of different types of mail. Huh. Alright. This just sounds like someone breaking in. Big crowd of people. This is also... It's not the first time the villains have been antagonistic. They're always antagonistic. But I will say these guys are a lot more aggressive than most of the other villain teams. And some of that's because of the more like story-focused stuff. And this is kind of like this is kind of low-hanging fruit for their philosophy. But if you think about the like philosophies and goals of all the other like groups, you realize most of them don't make sense. Why does Team Aqua want to make more water? Team Magma at least gives us something to sell. Team Aqua is like, there's no point. You're gonna just destroy lots of property. And then Team Galactic is very weird. I don't even think they know what they're doing. They're kind of just like messing with quantum physics for fun. Oh, there's a guy, curious guy. I think... Oh yeah, so this is also, he's labeled a rival, but, I don't know if that's really accurate. I haven't played the game enough to go like, oh yeah, he's definitely more of like a team villain than a rival. Mostly because he's not the actual team leader of Team Plasma. Which is a stupid name, by the way. Plasma? Why is it Plasma? Plasma is like a state of matter? A part of your blood? At least Aqua and Magma are like related to their thing, and Galactic is kind of related to their shtick. Although, in retrospect, Team Rocket doesn't make any sense. Why are they called Team Rocket? They're just a mob. They're just mafia. They're run by an Italian gangster. Why are they called Team Rocket? Rocket is... It doesn't... I don't get it. Yay, level 8. We're doing so well. He also kind of does this like... I see he's doing this like, oh, your Pokemon is... He's doing the C3PO R2D2 thing where like, your Pokemon said something. Now I'm gonna vaguely allude to what it was. And of course we get the introduction to the gym leaders eventually. Well, time to heal. Another thing is that the camera angle on this one is a bit weird. Because all the other games are pretty much top-down. There's really no side profiles. In this one, they've kind of shifted it all to side profiles, right? Like, if you look here, you can see that because it's in a 3D environment now, all the characters are basically, you're seeing their sides. You aren't seeing the top of their heads like you were in Gen 1, 2, through 4, really. Which is interesting. I think with this one, they made a conscious choice to push the limits of their art style, and I think it probably is why Gen 6 went full 3D, because this does look pretty nice, and it does look pretty impressive. Of course, here's the meme. We can see the news, but like, I mean, here, look at this. Literally, the camera zooms in to show us the side. Very curious, very curious. Very impressive, actually. Oh, I'm getting a call. This also probably ends up replacing the Gen 3 phone, Gen 2 and Gen 3 phone. She said, like, nothing. Oh, okay, that's why. Is it the running shoes? Well, finally. Yeah, your mom has a lot more character in this game than in any of the other ones, really. Route 2. They also go back to naming the routes like just 1, 2, 3, whatever. Which they haven't done since Gen 1, right? Gen 1 did routes 1 through 20 something. Gen 2 picked up where Gen 1 left off. Gen 3 did this kind of like started at 11, I think. Gen 3 did, maybe. I'd have to double check. And then Gen 4 had like the first route was 201, like they were all 200X. We have to fight this guy. Looks like. Oh, looks like it's gonna rain outside. Youngster Jimmy. Sent out a pet rat. Well, time to beat him. I think it seems like they've done a bit of a conscious effort to speed up the battles a little bit. They haven't, you know, fundamentally changed it so that it's not like turn-based, so it's still a little bit like, oh, I just used the same move over and over again. But it does seem like they've definitely sped up some of the animations and stuff and made it so that it's a lot more it's a lot less tedious to play the game. Odor Sleuth, that move is, I think that move is pointless as far as I know. It does something, but it doesn't mean it's good. We're gonna have to fight this guy too. Oh, never mind. Oh, we got intercepted by a person who wants to attack us. How mean of them. Purloin. This game's graphics really are interesting because you can tell it's stuck between the 3D stuff and the, like, still committed to using some of the 2D sprites, right? I don't know if that's because it's probably limitations of the DS as a system, but I don't know. Maybe it was they were just too committed to the whole, like, we need everything to be pixelated stuff. And that's understandable given the success of pretty much every game before this. I mean, I made a reference to the fact that aside from the first one sold the best, but I mean in general all the games sold well, right? I mean Gen 2 is still one of the higher selling ones. Gen 3 I think was a bit of a low seller, but Gen 4 sold pretty well. Gen 4 sold better than Gen 5 actually. And if you look at it based on the general selling of games and not, you know, if you compare it to more than just itself, you really see that, yeah, they were selling. And you could say that because they released 2 games, it sells better. I don't think that's really true, right? I don't think a significant enough portion of people buy both for it to be relevant, right? Because, I mean, you think about somebody like me or even some of my friends who are pretty, like, hard Pokemon fans and have disposable income and could buy both of them. We still don't. Mostly because, like, if you really want Snivy, no. We're going to Ember Snivy. if you really want to get all the Pokemon, one of your friends probably has the other one, right? If you want to get all the Pokemon and you only have Scarlet, I'm sure somebody has Violet, right? And the internet has made it so that it's so easy to just find people to trade with if you really need stuff. Right, whereas, I mean, that really, oh, he used a potion. That's disappointing. Sad. Sad. Bad move, bad move. Well, now we can win. Oh. That's curious. I don't know why it started lagging there. That's strange. Yeah, the audio's lagging. Curious. You can... I do like having the audio up because then you can like immediately tell when the game is lagging. Okay, this is Stration City. Who's this guy? Ah, the classic gym leader's not here. Go find him. That's never happened before. Oh, and you can still run inside the buildings. How nice. Love that. See, I want to see... Okay, no, still can't use the big globe. I want to see what happens when you use the big globe. Because that's like a normal globe, right? And Pokemon is not consistent with a lot of things. One of the things it is consistent with is that this is not exactly the same as Earth. It's like similar-ish, and it might have some of the same continents and stuff, but it is probably different. Probably. I mean, at the very least, you know, places like New York are called something else. What is this? Trainer's school. Okay, yeah, classic. We always go to the trainer's school in the second or third town. And this is Charon. Yeah. And then we fight our other rival. Oshawods. Cool. We're going to tackle. I do wonder how this game runs on like a base DS, right? Because it's very clearly designed for the DSi. Thanks. Very helpful. Right, with all the internet features, right? Because the base DS didn't have almost any of those, really. Oh, he ate a berry to gain Oran berry. Yippee. And, I mean, Gen 4 does that a little bit too, right? There are some very clear internet mechanics in Gen 4 that aren't at all present in any of the Gen 3 games. But, you know, conceptually, it really just... they're not essential. This one... whatever, we'll keep battling. It really does seem... I do wonder if the game runs slower on a base DS as opposed to a DSi or a... yeah, DSi, basically. Assist. Cool, I guess. Both those guys are actually pretty high level. They were both like level 8. That's pretty impressive. Oh, burn. Okay. You're gonna be done soon. Ouch. But we win. Because we always win. Because we are good. And this is the beginning of the game. And the game is not that hard. I mean, I'm also just throwing everything at my starter, which is... but... Interestingly, really, by Gen 5... No. They had... It's not only that they started to do, you know, like, more story-driven stuff with this game. Really, starting in Gen 4 and then Gen... Well, a little bit in Gen 3, but really in Gen 4, they had a bunch of spin-offs that were all more story-driven, right? I mean, the Pokemon Ranger games are all relatively plot-driven. The Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series is super, like, story-driven, right? That whole game's basically a story. And then, you know, the Pokemon Coliseum, Pokemon XD, what was it? The one with Arizona in it. Yeah. For the GameCube. Right. I mean, even something like the Pokemon trading card game weirdly has more story going on, or at least equivalent story going on to the try training your Pokemon in the Dream Yard. What if we go in here? I mean, this is the gym, so... it's the guy! His name's Clyde? Oh, incredible. We've never gotten a name for him. He looks like the same guy, so I'm presuming his name's always been Clyde. Oh. Menu? Oh, this is like a food thing. Oh, this is, you're supposed to, it's fire type, so you're supposed to hit water. Okay, cool. Oh, we have to fight this guy. I could have gone around him. I missed him. What a shame. So these guys are all waiters? They definitely were a little bit more wacky with the gym themes, I see. But I like it. I prefer my gyms to be a little bit wackier. Not that there's anything wrong with, you know, Brock and the rock garden that he lives in, but, yeah, it's nice to have a, like, gym that has a thing going on. I mean, they've kind of always had that, right? Like, Misty's in a pool. The grass types are always in gardens. That normal type trainer from Gen 2 lives in a maze. That looks like a Clefairy or something. They're not all bangers, but whatever. I do think I will finish up once I beat this gym, right? Because we're at, 54, and... There's not much to actually say about this game. I mean, Gen 6 is going to have a lot more to talk about with the type changes and the switch to 3D and all that stuff. This one's kind of a really transitionary one that they ended up doing well, I think, is the view here, right? Because inherently, oh, we can't go around. We have to fight the lady. Okay, well, let's... Yep. It's second course? What is this course menu thing going on here? It's very weird. But of course, as always, we want to see if we can stomp the gym with our over-leveled starter. It's not even that over-leveled yet. It's mostly just a leveled starter. It is kind of interesting if you play the game by leveling up all of your guys. The beginning of the game is the most difficult, but then once you get sort of middle to late game, it gets pretty easy because it goes from you have one guy who's 20 levels to all your guys are 5 levels above, and that means you beat everybody, right? Whereas here it's like if I trained up all my other guys, they'd be way too low. In fact, if I check them now, they're probably gonna tell me that it's like level 5 or whatever. Assist. What does assist even do? Is it like uses a previous move? Bide. I mean, but you know, with this game, there's no change to the gameplay. It's the exact same. Same it's been since Gen 3 pretty much, right? I think there was some behind the scenes stuff with like physical and special attacks that they shifted, but it's not like... Ooh, ouch. Oh, well, now my level 4 guys are gonna have to go in. The Purloin's almost dead, so I believe in us. Oh, what? That's stupid. I will be kind of annoyed if we lose to this random gym trainer, but okay, he's gonna use Growl. Growl is not good, especially in this situation. Which means Pat Rat's probably gonna get all the XP for this. Oh wow, oof. Okay, they're gonna keep using Growl though, so. Oh, they're lowering my attack. That's incredibly lame. Boop. Yay, I win. It was close there though, and we got like 300 experience points for that. So this guy's probably gonna go up to like level 6. Yep. Bite. Bite is good. Oh, level 7. Wow. Wow. Okay, so the last one's going to be the gym leader. So, let's move back here and heal. It's probably a good idea. I mentioned it, you know, last time that the Gen 4 games were really Gen 3, Gen 4 games were really the first time where the games kind of like looked good. This is probably the first time that the games, this is probably the first one that the game doesn't really have the retro style, where like, sure, the game is still sort of pixel artwork, but inherently the angles and the approach to it is much more modern than even in like Pokemon Pearl. Okay, here's this guy. Oh right, there's 3 of them. I forgot. Cress, like water cress. Okay, so we have to fight the water guy because we chose the fire guy. This is an interesting thing. I don't know if that's a good way to do it or a bad way, It's certainly interesting, and I kind of wish they would do that more. I mean, that's a way to really get out a lot more gym leaders with each gym, right? If you do 3 that are like, oh, psychic, fairy, and dark, and then they choose which one you fight, that's a lot more like interesting than just going, oh yeah, this is the fairy type gym. That might be a good attack. Why did he say that? But I guess it doesn't work except for like with the starters, I guess, is how they're deciding it, right? So if you dump your starter and choose a bunch of different ones, they'll still choose it based off the starter. Bite. Ouch. That was strong. Double. What does the freshwater do? 50 points. What are we at? 4. We'll use a potion. Oh, it's because he buffed himself twice. Ouch. Okay. Run it back. I'm not going to be able to win if my guy gets taken out here, because the other 2 are not going to be able to defeat whatever his last guy is. And he's going faster than me anyway. Okay. We're gonna do, yeah, we're gonna keep using it. We still have like 4, so. Oh, nope, not this time. We're going to Ember this time. He still gets to go first? Well, I think we're losing this first one. Then we'll send out Pat Rat though, because it's the stronger one. Level 7 instead of level 4. Also, Pat Rat has bite. It's gonna insta kill, isn't it? Oh, 2 flinched. Why is the flinch like actually flinch locking me? That's like 3 out of. Yeah, right? Every flinch he's hit has, or every bite he hit flinched. They might have changed the stats for it, made it more likely. Oh, or whatever. I mean, this is gonna insta-kill anyway, so it doesn't really matter what move we choose yet. Now we get to see what happens when you lose. He paid out $100. And we black out, and we go to the Pokemon Center. And we play the animation to restore the Pokemon to full health. Cool. Oh, it gives you advice. We also have a decent amount of money, actually, so we're just gonna buy like 7 of these. Glad I didn't really use that fresh water, but they did suggest we go to that other area before we do the battle, so we should check it out. It's part of the game. Should check out whatever the dream yard is. Is this person gonna fight me? Yes. If this is just a bunch of trainers for me to fight, I'm probably not gonna do it, because I can always go back and fight other trainers. Like, this is not something that I really need. I'm not gonna grind just to beat the gym. Growl. Alright. I will say, this game is probably the pinnacle of DS graphics. I think, would be a not untrue thing to say. This is really the best sort of artist thing in terms of graphics for the DS. Although that being said, there's probably some games that have equivalent sort of graphical prowess for the DS, but I think this is probably one of the best ones. Certainly it's one of the more popular sort of options. Defense Curl. Sure, we're gonna get rid of, like, Odor Sleuth. Oh, right, Odor Sleuth enables ghosts to be hit with normal and fighting type, and enables an evasive target to hit. It's good in certain circumstances, but not for art purposes. I don't think we're gonna run into any ghosts anytime soon. At least not ones that we're gonna have trouble with. Okay. So that's it. So there's a bunch of stuff here that we can't really go to. And a bunch of trainers running around. So, yeah, I think we're just gonna go back and fight the gym again. Our guy is now a level stronger, so it's, you know, it's good. It is kind of interesting though, because of the like camera angle. The game doesn't feel, even though the art style for the sort of pixelated chibi art style is basically the same as Gen 4, because of the camera angle and a lot of the more 3D stuff, it doesn't feel like it, right? Gen 3 and 4 feel like each other. This one feels almost like on its own. I wonder if they all say that. They all say, I'm the best. Alright, Lillipup level 12, which means his other guy's probably level 14 or something ridiculous. Anyway, double up Ember. Yeah, he's probably gonna do the same like strat, double work up and then bite you to death. Attack, special attack Rose. He must have high speed. Oh, I got to go first this time. That's good. Oh, you used bite early. Ah, I'm getting to go first here. This could be an entirely different situation then. We're gonna switch only because I think Panpour will be good again. Yeah. I just want to see if I can do some stuff with my... Yeah, it's level 14, I called it. Bro, you only have 2 Pokemon. I think this is gonna insta-kill. Oh, 1. Any stats we lower are useful because this is his last guy, so... I don't know, Lear. I mean, we could hit him, but... I don't really think that'd be very useful. I think the lowering defense is going to be more useful here. Although him increasing his stats is not ideal, because that means he's probably gonna like insta-kill the rest of our guys, which kind of sucks, not gonna lie. I mean, we're lowering his defense enough that... Actually, let's hit him with a tackle. Let's see what he does. He's gonna use a 3rd workup in a row. And the game seems to be lagging a little bit. I just want to know how much damage I'm going to hit him for if I use tackle. Oh, that's not too bad. Oh, that was a critical. Okay, well, we need to run it back then just to see what... yeah, this is... I was at 1. Alright, he's down 3 levels of defense, but he's up 3 levels of attack and special attack. My pet red is 7 levels behind him, which is bad, but I do have bite. And he's going to use workup again. Is bite... Okay. Alright, we're gonna use bite again. Because if he hits us with something, I think it'll insta-kill. So yeah, it did, okay. Alright. The problem here is I think he gets to go first, and I think he just killed me. Yep, he just does. Okay, cool. So that was not ideal. But I will beat this guy before I end the stream. Then once I beat him, I probably will just end the stream. We may need a bit of actual strategy here. This was probably a way for them to make sure that the first gym was always difficult, right? If they all have 2 guys and one of them's normal and the other one... If one of them's like a base type and the other one is the super effective type, running your starter is always going to not go well, basically. Oops. So we're gonna try a little bit of strategy here, actually, in the sense that we are going to put Lillipup first. We're gonna get some XP for my other guys when we fight these random guys in here. Oh, 3. They're probably low level then. Level 7. It's relatively low. If he's bad at the game, I can win. He's not that bad at the game. What a shame. Alright, we're gonna send in the other pet rat then. I mean, we'll still probably end up just beating him with our starter, which is whatever. Okay, bite. Hit him with the bite. And make him flinch. Nope. I don't get the flinches. Of course not. Why would that happen? Ah, he's almost done. If I can get my guy up to a good level 10, 11, I think he'll be decent enough to fight the level 13, level 14 guys. I mean, level 11 is probably where I want it to be. Odor Sleuth. Yippee. No, we're gonna stay with this pet rat. And we're gonna... He's probably got 3 level 7 pet rats. It's usually kind of how it goes. And we're gonna get a flinch here, right? Nope. And we're going to switch out to Tepig. And then Tepig's gonna sweep the rest of them. I think for Tepig to sweep, I think we need really pretty high, actually. We probably need level 20 Tepig. So we're not gonna end up getting that. I mean, we'll probably end up level 15, 16. Ah, he's not done? Tepig seems to have high defense and not high attack stats, which is kind of screwing me over here, actually. just keep going. Run it back for Ember. I mean, he has, what's the one? The one that gives you... He has the bonus to fire-type moves ability, but... Alright, here we go. Yay, so look, we're level 14, which means we're on par with the Panpour. I wonder if this lady will fight me. Probably. Oh, there's an item over here, though. An X Defend. That's something. But it looks like you can't go any further. Although you can see items in the distance. Let's see if this lady will fight me. Paintage. Oh! You can just get it. Well, I mean, this is going to make it quite easy to win the battle now, unless, I mean, what's the stats? What's the moves? It's level 10. That's good. It's got encourages early use of a held berry. That's stupid. It's got lick, which is good, and vine whip. Okay, that's what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to come here, get that, and now we have 4 Pokemon, and we probably should be able to beat the guy. That's what the game wanted us to do. And I can't even complain, because that was clear, right? The game was like, you should go to this place before you fight the gym. And I was like, whatever. And then I went to the place and got the extra Pokemon that will, yeah, pretty much help you sweep. But now we can go, time to, do you want to switch around and do Tepig first, because we want Tepig to beat the first Pokemon, and then we'll throw out the other guys for the next one. Alright, third time's a charm. I think we've got this on lock. I don't think we're losing this. Yeah. Level 12 unless against level 14. I think we got this one. I think we got this one. Still, dude. Tepig does not have good attack stats, I guess. Used a bite. It did something, I guess. Also, another thing, no moves have missed so far. Maybe they changed the calculation for that. We're gonna switch to the Pansage, because even if like he does something wacky and one-shots it, Pansage is gonna do damage with the Vine Whip that's gonna be meaningful. The other two guys probably have the other versions of Panpour, Pansage, and the Fire type one. Panrage? No, that sounds wrong. I don't know. Oh, that's not too bad. Especially since, Water Gun is not going to be very effective here, so we're actually in a good spot. Right. We are in a good spot to sweep. which we are going to do. Now we see he's going to use a potion. I sensed that he might do something of that nature, which is why I used Divine Whip and not Scratch. They don't seem to be using like excessive amounts of potions or anything either, so you know, it wasn't like it was a normal potion, not a full restore or something like that, right? That would be ridiculous. Level 11. Alright, and now we've beaten this guy. We've seen most of the limited changes the game offers, mostly graphical switches, as well as a kind of a redesign of the camera angles and stuff. Definitely a lot more flashy, this game. A little bit more anime-esque. We get workup. Oh, they probably all have workup. Ooh. Oh, wait. Yeah, these guys suck, I guess. Let's talk to, what was his name? Clyde? I think his name was Clyde. Alright. We're gonna see what extra story events are going on. Oh, right, this is the Fennel person. And she's going to just... Oh, the hidden machine. Cut is HM number 1? That's incredible. Oh, right, yes. She kind of has like a thing going on with like the sleep dream mist thing. Oh, oops. Where you can, there's like a whole thing going on here. Yes. Wait. Yeah, okay, she's the Pokemon Source System person. That's funny. Okay. Alright. Well, that's pretty much it. You know, there's some cool stuff going on, and the camera work is definitely improved, and I think in general they've improved upon Gen 4, but not really in a gameplay sense, more in a like, we made Sonic 1, now let's make Sonic 2 kind of sense, right? Or, you know, we made Half-Life 1. No, that's not really a good example, because Half-Life 2 is a big improvement. But more like, we made, yeah, like kind of the first 3 Mario games, where like, we made the first one, now we make the better one with slightly better graphics and improved stuff. Then we make the third one with slightly better graphics and improved stuff. But we don't actually change the gameplay in any way. I guess the new power-ups are important, but the, yeah, you know, this one really, you know, I said Gen 4 was really the moment that they stopped changing things, and this game is kind of proof of that, right? The gameplay is almost entirely the same. In fact, it is entirely the same. This is the Pokemon Black and White has the same gameplay as Pokemon, as pretty much all the way back to Gen 3. Now they're going to change that big with the next titles, but, you know, for this one, I don't think it hurts that they kind of have consistency over 3 generations. It kind of gives you a, like, trilogy aspect where all 3 of the games kind of play the same, but they have different stuff going on, so you can kind of see the improvement. This one definitely has the best, not only, like, it has the same graphics as Gen 4, but they're better done here. they're more well done, even though, you know, the pixel style is basically the same and the 3D graphics are technically the same as Gen 4. Something about the camera angles and the specifics make it it's a lot more well done. So yeah, that's what I think about the game. Next week we will be going on to Gen 6, which is on the 3DS, and is the beginning of the 3D. They went full 3D, so they got rid of. This is the last time you'll see this little kind of running around top. Well, you'll still see top down, but running around kind of cutesy, chibi art style until we get to the Gen 4 remakes at the end of the series, basically. So, yep. Thank you for watching. I don't think anyone's watching live right now, but people popped in, and